Hey friends, it's Emily from burlapkitchen.com, and today we're going to make something really fun with a Dollar Tree heart and some wood beads. So I'm just going to go ahead and line my beads around the edge of my heart, and now I'm going to begin to glue them on. So I like to start at the top point and the bottom point and glue those down first, and then work my way around the center. It just helps me to even them out a little bit better. So then I have this Rust-Oleum stain. I wanted to pause this so you could get a good look at it or a screenshot if needed. This is a water-based stain, so it's not as harsh as the other ones that I've used. So you can use it inside. It works great for that. It doesn't have that real harsh smell. So I'm going to use that, and I'm using it in the color Dark Walnut, and we're just going to go ahead and paint the entire heart with that color. So I always get a lot of questions. Why do you stain if you're just going to paint anyways? The reason I do that is because I love to see that chippy wood look and the dark stain coming through the paint when I go to sand it. So we're just going to stain this up here. Use a brush to get in between the little wood beads. And that's looking pretty good. So then we're going to take 2 popsicle sticks and we're going to stain those also. You can see I'm kind of not staining the tip. You don't really need to. I'll show you in a minute why you don't have to do that. So that is looking pretty good. We're going to dry it here real quick. Then I'm going to come in with some Folk Art Vintage White paint, and we are going to paint the heart. So you're going to need probably 2 coats of paint on this. And again, it does take a little bit of time in between the beads. I sped it up pretty fast, but just make sure to get in between those beads really good with your paintbrush. So we're going to paint that. Make sure everything is nice and coated. I'm going to give it kind of a dry here in between so I can flip it around and add a little more paint. Again, I'm just getting in between the beads good, and give it a quick dry, and then one more little coat and we should be ready to go. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we are going to come in with some sandpaper here as soon as I finish this up and make sure it's nice and dry. Now we're going to come in with some sandpaper, a little sanding block, and we're just going to scuff this up real good. You can kind of see how the dark is coming through. And then I had to take my sandpaper off of there to get in between the little beads. I put it around my popsicle stick. That worked pretty good. And then we're going to come in and we are going to cut these popsicle sticks that we stained. So we're just going to cut them down to make a little cross. And then we're just going to kind of position them there. We're going to glue our cross together. And we're going to sit it on the heart where we want it. And then we're going to come in with some stamps. So I'm using the stamps in the letters True Love. And I taped them together. Someone told me to try that so they are lined up better, and it works perfectly. So we're just going to go ahead and stamp True on here. But I did mess up the Love when I stamped it. You'll see in a minute, and I'll show you how I fixed that. So we're going to give it a dry. Always dry it in between so you don't smear it. So now that it's dry, we're going to come in with the Love. And when you go to do this, make sure that your stamp is completely down. When I did it, my E was actually touching one of the wood beads and it didn't take. So I'll show you here in a minute how I fixed that. So we're just going to go ahead and stamp Love on. And again, I told you my E didn't work. So I'm just going to take some paint over the little bit of black that I got on it. And then I'm just going to squeeze my E right in there. Worked good enough for me. So then we're going to take some greenery and tie it together. That just helps it all stay in place here while we glue it down. We're going to glue it to the top. Then I'm taking some burlap and some red and white ticking that I got at Walmart. And I'm going to cut little dovetails in the ends of each one of these. And then I'm going to layer them on top of each other. And then tie them in the middle, kind of cinch them in the middle and tie it with some twine to make a little bow. Then I'm going to snip that extra twine off and make sure everything looks the way that I want and is the right size. And then I'm going to glue that into place, fluff it up a little bit, and then I am going to take a rusty bell here and glue it right down to the center. And there you go. I'm going to go around here to the back real quick, and we're going to take some twine and we're going to tie on a little hanger. So I'm just tying them in knots and then gluing them down, and then I'm taking a little piece of burlap and gluing it over top for a little extra stability, just so it stays in place good. And there you go. You have the cutest little craft for Valentine's Day. And I honestly think this one could stay out all year round. So let me know what you think of this one. For more fun ideas like this, please visit burlapkitchen.com. Thank you.